UFC Fight Night Lada versus Dumont, full card results. The main event, Norma Dumont winning by unanimous decision. Andrei Arlovsky in the heavyweight division, the co-main event, winning that fight by unanimous decision. Jim Miller with the most UFC fights ever, getting a second round knockout in 14 seconds. Manon Fiorot getting a unanimous decision. Nate Landwehr getting an upset win by Anaconda choke submission. Bruno Silva by knockout after losing the first and second round in the wrestling and grappling. Coming back, attacking the body of Andrew Sanchez, then going up top and knocking him out. We got Danny Roberts winning a very controversial split decision. Luana Carolina also winning a controversial decision. Donna Bajadil winning a first round knockout, and Ariane Carnelosi winning her fight by rear naked choke submission. Overall, it was a very good fight, but we're going to go on to the women's strawweight division with Ariane Carnelosi and Estela Nunes. Estela Nunes, she did pretty good at range. I definitely thought, going into the third round, I thought Ariana Carnelosi was up 2-0. You can make an argument one of those rounds could have gone Estela Nunes because she did have the better striking at range, but Ariane was winning in terms of the wrestling. She was mixing in takedowns, mixing in ground pound control time, and she was landing the more powerful strikes. So overall, even if that fight had gone all the way, I would have gone Ariane Carnelosi to win, but she got the rear naked choke submission in the third round right there. The strongest fighter in the women's strawweight division, in my opinion. I'm not too sure who she's gonna fight next after dominating Estela Nunes right there in the wrestling, where we haven't really saw her do too good in most of her other fights. It's really just her coming forward and throwing really big shots and looking for the knockout, but I'm not too sure who she's gonna fight next. But really good fight by rear naked choke submission win in the third and final round. We got Dana Bajadil and then Brandon Davis right here in the bantamweight division. Power is all I really have to say for Dana Bajadil. I mean, the man has so much power in his hands. Literally just stalked Brandon Davis, kept on coming forward, throwing left hooks, right hooks, overhand rights, overhand lefts, and eventually ended up knocking him out with a big punch and then a couple of elbows on the ground. The man has so much power, man. 3 first-round knockout wins in a row over Guida Gonetti, Kevin Natividad, and Brandon Davis. Whoever he fights next, I'm going to put a knockout prop so fast on that because the man's power is unlike any other fighter in the bantamweight division. Amazing performance from Dana Bajadil right there. Crazy win. Then we go into the women's flyweight division right here with Lupita Godinez and Luana Carolina. The first round, of course, went Lupita Godinez. She had a little bit better striking, landing more volume, and almost getting a submission towards the end of that very first round. The first round, of course, went Lupita Godinez. The second round, Luana Carolina defended pretty much every single takedown, landed some good knees in the clinch, did better at range, landed more volume, landed the more powerful shots. I personally had Luana Carolina winning that second round, and then in the third round, Lupita Godinez did land the more powerful shots, but Luana Carolina did land about double the amount of volume in the third and final round, and that is why I had to agree with the judges and give the fight to Luana Carolina by 29-28 decision, which was my exact prediction of 29-28 decision right there for Luana Carolina. But it was a little controversial. You can maybe make an argument one of the second and third round went to Lupita Godinez, but Luana did a heck of a lot more volume in those rounds, defended most of those takedowns, and even if Lupita would get the fight to the clinch, land the takedowns, she wasn't really able to do much damage with those takedowns and clinch opportunities. So I'll have to agree with the judges right there. So at that point, I would be 3-0 on predictions. I had Ariane Carnelosi by a decision. She got the submission. I had Dana by a decision. Yeah, thinking back, it's kind of stupid that I thought he would win a decision. The man has a lot of power, so he won the fight by knockout, and I had Luana Carolina by 29-28 decision. After that one, my first wrong prediction on the card right here in the welterweight division. Yeah, Ramazan Emeev, Danny Roberts. I'm going to say it right now, it was an absolute robbery if I've ever seen one. I mean, you can think of so many other fights that probably should have won the other way. This just takes it to a complete other level. Ramazan Emeev, Danny Roberts. The first round, Ramazan Emeev outlands Danny Roberts by at least 8 strikes. Danny Roberts lands like 2 leg kicks. That's about it. Ramazan lands about 8 leg kicks, a couple body shots, like a jab, 1-2. He won the round. I mean, Ramazan Emeev definitely won the round. He landed a lot more volume. He won the round. But one of the judges gave Danny Roberts a 30-27. One gave it 29-28. But for one of the judges to even think about having a 30-27, saying that the first round went to Danny Roberts, that is absolutely insane. I believe the third round did go Danny Roberts. He landed some really, really big shots, and he deserved to win that third round. But the second round, Ramazan definitely won there. Landed some good takedowns, landed some good ground and pound, landed way more volume in the fight, the more powerful punches in the second round. So obviously Ramazan Emeev won the first round. Obviously he won the second round. Obviously Danny Roberts won the third and final round. No idea what the judges were thinking. I mean, one having it 30-27 for Roberts, even one of them having it 29-28 for Roberts, that is still pretty crazy. I think Ramazan should have won the fight 29-28 in the first and second round, and then lose in the third round. I have no idea how any of the judges could have thought that Danny Roberts won. Crazy judging on UFC Fight Night, Lada versus Dumont right there. After that one, we go into the middleweight division with Andrew Sanchez and Bruno Silva. Of course, just as I said, I did have Silva winning the fight by knockout, but in my prediction video, I did say the wrestling and grappling of Andrew Sanchez does worry me for Bruno Silva. After watching the Wellington tournament fight, I was very worried on the wrestling and grappling of Bruno Silva, but Andrew Sanchez put on the wrestling and grappling in the first and second round and got tired, and in the third and final round, Andrew Sanchez ended up landing a one more shot to the balls of Bruno Silva, which deducted a point. At that point, Bruno Silva knew he lost a point, or no, Andrew Sanchez lost a point, but he knew he needs a finish in that third round or the fight would be a draw. So we went out there and just caved forward, landing heavy shots to the body, eventually going up top and knocking out Andrew Sanchez. We know Andrew Sanchez doesn't necessarily have the best chin. He's been knocked out many times before against Malcolm Morado, Bruno Silva, Ryan James, Anthony Smith, Kevin Casey. All of these guys have knocked him out, and now Bruno Silva has knocked him out as well in the third and final round. A heck of a comeback. I mean, he got dominated in the first and second round, then dominates Andrew Sanchez in the third and final round. Crazy fight right there. Even if Bruno Silva was not able to get the knockout, I still think he might have ended up winning, because it was 2018 going into the third round. Andrew Sanchez loses a point. So what if Bruno Silva put on so much shots in that third round, didn't get the finish, but he got a 10-8? Plus, he got that point deduction. It would have been a 10-7 round for Bruno Silva, which would have meant that he wins the fight, because it would be 10. It'd be around 28 points for Bruno Silva and then around 27 points for Andrew Sanchez. So even if Andrew Sanchez could have survived that third round and made it to the judges' scorecards, I still think Bruno Silva would have won, because he was absolutely dominating that third round. Probably would have gotten a 10-8. So either way, that fight would have gone either way. Bruno Silva still would have won because of that point deduction, because of the ball shot that Andrew hit him with at least 3 times. But crazy upset, not necessarily an upset, but comeback from Bruno Silva after the first and second round. This one is an upset. Nate Landwehr and Ludovic Klein in the featherweight division. A lot of us thought that Ludovic Klein would stay at range, use that reach advantage, 1-2 on the outside, overhand right, maybe the uppercut as well in the clinch, the high kick, the body kick, the leg kick. We thought he'd use that to at least maybe get a high kick knockout, maybe use that to get a decision, something like that. But we all thought that Ludovic Klein would win the fight. I mean, he's a minus 390 favorite right there. But Nate Landwehr went out there. He looked amazing. I mean, the first round, Nate just put on heavy pressure on Ludovic Klein. Ludovic really could not answer the pressure. Nate Landwehr landed about 3 or 4 more significant strikes in the first round. The second round, Landwehr dominated Ludovic Klein to where Ludovic, an amazing striker, is going for takedowns, and that is immediately what got him the loss in the third and final round by submission. Is that Nate Landwehr made him that discomfortable in the striking that Ludovic went for a takedown, went a little bit too low. Nate Landwehr got a little submission on the front, turn it around, and then I believe he got a dart stroke submission as Ludovic Klein went for the takedown. But if Nate Landwehr is able to turn a guy like Ludovic Klein, such an amazing striker, into a grappler, that is absolutely insane. But an upset win, a plus 300 underdog in Nate Landwehr getting the submission win right there in the third and final round. Even if he did not get the submission win, he would have won the fight by decision either way. Then we go into the women's flyweight division with Manon Fiorot and then Mayra Bueno Silva. Every single round, Manon was just volume. She was on the back foot. Mayra Bueno Silva coming forward, putting on the pressure, but not necessarily throwing any volume. I mean, she just kept on coming forward, eating shots, and then going, Nah, that didn't hurt me. Stop doing this and actually throw some of your own shots. I mean, Mayra Bueno Silva could have won the fight if she threw more volume instead of just going, no, that didn't hurt me. Putting her hands behind her back. Nope, that didn't hurt me. She did that so many times that was definitely a contributing factor to Mayra Bueno Silva losing the fight. Was literally because she's too focused on saying, nope, that didn't hurt me, putting her hands behind her back and all that type of stuff. It's just, Mayra, you're losing the fight. I mean, you lost the fight 30-27, 30-27, and 30-26. Instead of showboating, putting hands behind your back, come forward and actually land some shots. But Manon Fiorot looked absolutely amazing. I mean, she landed at least like 3 or 4 times the amount of strikes of Mayra Bueno Silva, threw at least 4 times the amount of volume as Mayra Bueno Silva. But the volume, even the wrestling of Manon Fiorot looked good in the women's flyweight division right there. But the greatest women's fighter from France of all time. We got the greatest man fighter from France in Cyril Gane. Now we got the greatest women's fighter from France in Manon Fiorot. Cannot wait to see who she fights next. But we got Jim Miller and Eric Gonzalez in the lightweight division. Jim Miller getting the UFC record for most UFC fights and coming close to the record of most UFC wins, which is held by Donald Cowboy Cerrone. But goes out there, I would say wins the first round, but almost loses the first round as he gets hit with some really big shots early, comes back with some big shots. It was very, very even first round, but at the beginning of that second round, he comes forward and lands a really, really solid overhand left and a little bit of ground and pound, knocks Eric Gonzalez out cold. All I gotta say, I mean, Jim Miller, he's a veteran of the game. 33 wins, 16 losses. Has been fighting in the UFC all the way back since 2008. Fought at UFC 100 right there against Mac Danzig right there, an Ultimate Fighter guy a long time ago. Beat Charles Oliveira, beat Melvin Gillard, Joe Lozon, Gleison Tebow. Matt Weeman right there fought Gray Maynard. He fought Nate Diaz. He fought Benson Henderson. He fought Donald Cerrone, Benil Dariush, Michael Chiesa, Diego Sanchez fought at UFC 200 against Takanori Gomi. Joe Lozon again, Dustin Poirier, Anthony Pettis, Dan Hooker, Charles Oliveira again, Clay Guida, Scott Holtzman, Joe Saliki, and now Eric Gonzalez. The man has fought so many people in the UFC lightweight division and featherweight division. It is just absolutely insane. But another win and another fight for Jim Miller right there. Crazy, man. In Jim Miller, absolutely insane. Then we go into the co-main event with Andrei Arlovski and Carlos Felipe. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. I believe that Carlos Felipe did enough to win the fight. He did win the third round, obviously. I mean, if you look at the stats in that third round, 31-29 in terms of Carlos Felipe winning that third round. But if you look at per round in which they're landing the strikes, where they are landing, 25 to the head, 5 to the body, and then 1 strike to the leg for Carlos Felipe. I do believe he landed the more powerful strikes in the third round and landed a lot more strikes in the third round. Same goes with the second round, where he landed 2 more strikes total and landed 8 more strikes to the head in that second round. So I do believe Carlos Felipe won the second round and won the third round. A lot of people out there are saying Andrei Arlovski won the second round. It is debatable. The first round definitely went Andrei Arlovski. The third round definitely went Carlos Felipe. It comes down to who won that second round. I believe Felipe did enough to win the second round. He landed the more powerful strikes. He landed more strikes in terms of volume. And I believe he won the second round. But it's definitely debatable. Could have gone either way. But Andrei Arlovski did pull out the victory in a very, very close, unanimous decision. Then we had Norman the Mod and Aspen Ladd in the main event right there. Just as I said, Norman the Mod defending the takedowns for pretty much the entire fight, and then winning the fight in the striking game by unanimous decision. Literally just fighting at range, 1-2 win, leg kick and body kick. I mean, really not too many body kicks or leg kicks, but mainly just outboxing Aspen Ladd for 5 straight rounds to a unanimous decision. That is all I gotta say. That was exactly my prediction. With Norma just boxing, defending the takedowns, and winning the decision. That's exactly what happened. But yeah, those are the full card results for UFC Fight Night Ladd versus the Mod. My predictions were Norman the Mod by a decision, Carlos Felipe by a decision, Jim Miller by submission, Manny Figueroa by decision, Ludwig Klein a decision, Bruno Silva knockout, Ramazan Amiva decision, Luana Carolina decision, Dana Bajadil decision, sadly, and then Ariane Carnelosi decision. So the only fights I did get wrong on the fight card were, of course, the Danny Roberts Ramazan Amiv, which I don't believe I got wrong. I believe Ramazan Amiv won. The fight with Ludwig Klein and Nate Landwehr were crazy underdog win right there. And then Andre Arlovsky, Carlos Felipe, which is a fight I thought Carlos Felipe did enough to win. So personally, I do think I went 9-1 on the card. This fight right here definitely should have went Ramazan Amiv. And then I believe this is the only loss legitimately on my predictions that I did lose, because I believe Carlos Felipe did enough to win, and I do believe Ramazan Amiv did enough to win. So overall, my official prediction results were 7-3, but I believe I should have went 9-1 on the card. But overall, very good fight card for UFC Fight Night Ladd versus the Mod. Norman the Mod winning, Andre Arlovsky winning, Jim Miller getting the record, Manny Figueroa winning, Nate Landwehr winning, Bruno Silva, Danny Roberts, Luana Carolina, Dana Bajadil, and Ariane Carnelosi winning. Really good fight card right there. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and everything like that, and we'll see you in the next video. Let's go.